Why are you an advocate for the 15-minute city?
Well, the reason is very simple. The 15-minute city is an old concept, but it has a new life.
The 15-minute city, what is it? It's a new urban narrative for a polycentric and a post-car, post-carbon city.
We need to rebalance the public space between cars, bikers, and pedestrians.
When you were the deputy mayor and when you started when your plans became action and Paris started changing, what surprised you the most?
Well, what surprised me the most is that it's so difficult to convince people that you can change.
How do you go from this to that?
For example, when we closed the first streets to traffic, people said you are going to increase congestion, you are going to increase pollution, and in fact it's just the contrary. So at the beginning, this kind of change is counterintuitive.
With your experiences from implementing the 15-minute city in Paris, what advice would you give to Stockholm or other cities thinking about implementing the concept too?
Well, I think that creating a safe network of cycle lanes is maybe the first thing to do. Some urban planners say when you create cycle lanes, you get bikers. And when you create highways, you get cars.
We designed a master plan for the cycle lane network in Paris. We have already 1,000 kilometers in 2021.
You need to have a global vision of the network of the lanes in order to fit the needs of the population. The second step is to create all the tools of mobility as a service, electric scooters and electric motorbikes and so on. If you want to convince somebody to move in a city without a car or without a motorbike, the quality of the service have to be very high. And you have to offer different kind of mobility.
So as a member organization for the business community here, Stockholm Chamber of Commerce, it's important for us to consider how livability and changes to the city will impact economical development. Would you agree that economic prosperity can be tied to successful urban development? And if so, how?
Economic attractivity and then prosperity of cities have changed. And now quality of life is one of the main drivers of attractivity. Because a city have to attract the creative classes. He's looking for livability, he's looking for quality of life, he's looking for fresh air and of course a lot of amenities. I remember at the beginning of the Brexit, I received some head of banking companies looking to move from London to another city in Europe. One of the guys I met told me, I think it's better for my company to go to Frankfurt, but my people want to go to Paris, so I'm going to Paris. So you see that attractivity is a question of where do you want to live if you are an entrepreneur or somebody with a high skill.
Here you see that people are queuing for the bakery in the street because of this new kind of designing of streets.
You need to have a global vision of the different dimensions of attractivity and to identify your good points, bad points, and try to work on your bad points.
So in terms of development, what would you recommend cities that are trying to increase their global competitiveness?
You have to question the concept of competitiveness, because we are entering a new era. And this era is an era of common goods. And so a lot of things in a city are related with these commons. The quality of air, the quality of water, the mobility, even the social housing. I prefer the concept of co-petition. So it means that, first of all the stakeholders of a city have to be working together in order to improve the quality of life in the city, and it's of course absolutely true for the business community. But I think also that when you think about the relationship between, let's say, Paris and Barcelona and Stockholm and London and Berlin, cooperation may be the best solution.
The vibration of a neighborhood depends on the vitality and diversity of its shops. And you know that shops are struggling with Amazon, with e-commerce, with a new way of making shopping in cities. But if you don't have shops, you don't have a 15-minute city.
From your perspective, what do you think will be the next trend in urban planning?
Well, I think that there is two dimensions. The first one is tactical urbanism.
Here you can see all the terraces which were allowed.
Because what the pandemic crisis told us, and what the crisis in Ukraine told us, is that it's very difficult to make planning at 20 years or 30 years or 50 years. So I think that we have to be very more flexible, very more agile in order to manage a city. And the second dimension is negotiated urban planning. All the people want to have a say on the future of the city. You have to conceive the tools, the democratic tools, which are efficient in order to make these people having their say, but not blocking all the system. Thanks to the digital, there is solutions. So if you are able to combine the knowledge of the urban planners with the knowledge of the ordinary people, you will have the future of urban planning.